The News Line.
Hello and welcome back to People's TV. In today's news commentary, we draw your attention to the release of 7 hostages on Monday, 13th, who were reunited with their families and loved ones after 738 days in captivity. Their names are Alon Ohel, Guy Gilboa Dalal, Omri Miran, Eitan Moore, Ziv Berman, Gali Berman, and Matan Angrist. All 7 have safely arrived in Israel. On the same day, Hamas issued a statement announcing that the remaining hostages would also be freed. True to their word, Hamas has now released the final 20 remaining living hostages. In exchange, Israel has released more than 1,900 Palestinian prisoners, including 250 serving life sentences. However, Hamas has yet to hand over the bodies of those hostages who died while in captivity. The Trump administration had long been uncertain about the fate of the hostages, at one point assuming that fewer than 10 might still be alive. Israel, however, never gave up hope. The footage now visible on screen shows Red Cross vehicles arriving to receive the freed hostages. Crowds of Palestinians can be seen lining the streets, cheering as the convoy passes. Foreign media reports note that the scene vividly highlights the contrast between Hamas militants and ordinary Gazan civilians, many of whom are celebrating the ceasefire and the prospect of peace. Although Israel had instructed Hamas not to gather the public for the hostage release, it appears that Hamas ignored those directives. As expected, Hamas seized the opportunity to stage a spectacle, attempting to project an image of victory and portray Israel and the United States as having bowed to pressure. This tactic is consistent with Hamas' past behavior, aimed at preserving its influence and public image. Nevertheless, it is well known that Hamas ultimately agreed to negotiate and release the hostages only after President Trump issued a firm deadline and threatened military action. Israel's directive against gathering civilians stemmed from security concerns, as Gazans often approach the vehicles at close range, and the possibility of individuals carrying weapons and opening fire on the hostages could not be ruled out. Media outlets have released video footage and photographs showing President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu traveling together in the same vehicle shortly before the U.S. president concluded his visit to Israel and departed for Egypt. In the footage now on screen, a striking beach tribute can be seen on Tel Aviv's shoreline, a giant sand and banner installation spelling out, "Thank you and home," featuring Donald Trump's profile. The tribute was designed to be visible from the air as Air Force One approached, symbolizing Israel's appreciation for his role in securing the recent ceasefire and peace agreement. Israelis expressed their gratitude and admiration for President Trump in various ways, including displaying large U.S. flags throughout the streets and capturing numerous photos with the president. Upon his arrival in Israel, Trump was greeted by a special delegation representing the Netanyahu administration. By the time he landed, the initial 7 hostages had already returned to Israel. This visit also marks President Trump's first trip to Israel since being elected. Now let's turn our attention to the more than 1,900 individuals released by Israel, many of whom were convicted of involvement in terrorist activities. Hamas organized a special event to welcome the freed prisoners back to Gaza, delivering them in large buses. This public gathering was held despite Israel's directives prohibiting any celebratory events for the released prisoners, highlighting Hamas' intent to stage a show of triumph. If this report helped you see the situation on the ground clearly, don't keep it to yourself. Like, share, and subscribe to People's TV, where truth has no agenda, and facts speak louder than spin.
Subscribe us for more details.